Welcome back to the channel. For you guys that keep watching, much appreciated. For any of you guys that haven't seen one of my videos yet, please subscribe. We're going to tell you exactly what this car does and what it's got in it. We'll start by, it makes just over 1,000 horsepower with a little 4-cylinder in it and does an 8.3 at 164 mile an hour. So stay tuned, we'll show you some of the goodies. Any questions, bang them in the comments below. Righto, starting with the diff, it's just a simple 9-inch steel housing. The center's got 3 9 gears in it. It's got a true track, 31 spline axles, Wilwood brakes. It's got Gazzard 6-inch rear shocks with the, I'm not sure the spring rate on the back spring. Mr. Gazzard will tell you. Now we've picked up the factory mounting points of the car, so there's nothing fancy going into this. Just uses rose joints on everything, a few adjustable holes to get the squat where we want it to be. Big thing that always people aren't really talking about, make sure you put a roll bar in. These big anti-roll bars lifts the car up evenly at the front. You'll see a lot of drag cars when they leave, they'll lift the front left wheel up first, and that's because they don't have one of them fitted. It's like a sway bar, but real heavy duty basically. Onto the gearbox, simple power glide, 2-speed obviously. The converter's built by SDE Converters down in Melbourne, I'm pretty sure they are. This is an SFI case. Uni joints are just 1350 uni joints on the drive shaft. It's a bush rear housing, it's not a roller bearing or anything fancy. The gearbox has got some good bits in it, a strong input shaft, billet gear set, and a few goodies. Now another thing on the transmission, we've got this little converter pressure relief valve. So that basically, some transmissions and converter combos will make more than sort of 80 or 90 pound converter pressure, which you don't want. Causes all sorts of issues. We've got a little valve on here that dumps fluid straight back into the pan, so we know that that's going to always be constant. At the exhaust system, we've got an AES diverter valve, so when we're racing, we just push a button on the Haltech keypad that dumps the fumes there. Apart from that, when we're driving around, we have it exiting out the back through a 2.5-inch system and a muffler. Oh, the front brake's my favourite part, the old AU Falcon twin piston calipers we put on it. Trailer hubs, a little bit of modifying to get them to fit on this car, but that's okay. Nothing else in the front end really, apart from some coilover inserts that we've welded over top of the original strut, and then I think it's got 150 pound springs in the front end. Now wheels and tyres, we just got the cheap Jeep wheels. I think they're made for a Jeep. It's obviously a 235 car, so we're running a small tyre, but it seems to get the job done. Righto, inside nothing fancy. We got the old super cheap SAS steering wheel. We've got an RTS shifter, nice cheap shifter, Haltech keypad, just stereo we've just put in. We've also just got a Haltech Nexus R5 under there that controls the whole car. Okay, we'll start with the engine itself. It's a stock cast K24 block with Darton sleeves in it. Now, it's got a stock crank, it's got a set of boost line rods and Wiseco pistons from 4-Piston Racing. They do it as a combo, real heavy duty piston, good thing. I've got videos on the engine as we're putting it together, go back and check them ones out. Just a 70mm Bosch throttle body, fly-by-wire, LS1 alternator, K-Power Industries intake manifold. It's got 4 2000cc Bosch injectors, nothing too fancy. No fast bits, fuel pressure regulator, all -6 fuel lines through the whole car. Everyone will laugh at me. We've always run smaller lines than everyone else for some reason, and it seems to get the job done. Now on the top end of the motor, we wipe the VTEC out of it and we're running drag cartel 3.2 camshafts, I think they are, and they're rockers. So we just eliminated all that. We removed the VTC gear, so that way they're always just fixed and locked in place. We don't have any drivability issues because of the auto. It doesn't seem to worry the car at all. Now this particular motor, we've got an MLS head gasket, which is a multi-layer steel gasket, and instead of the copper O-rings that all the guys seem to be running, we're trying a steel O-ring at the moment, a stainless O-ring wire I should say. So we're seeing how that's going. So far it's held 40 pound without leaking. We're going to turn it up a little bit more soon and see how we go there. Turbo is a Garrett G42 1450 with a 1.0 rear housing, I'm pretty sure from memory. The exhaust system, Fab Lab did that. It's a 4-inch dump pipe, and obviously it just exits out where I showed you before. We've got a set of EGTs in it, 2 that need replaced because they never worked from the word go, so we've got to get on top of that. So we've got a small nitrous kit in it just to bring it up on the 2-step. When we've got the trans brake on, I think it's spraying about 70 or 80 horsepower worth of nitrous in when we do that. The intercooler is a Garrett core, quite a thick core. I think it was a 115mm core, quite big. Charge pipe from the turbo to the intercooler is 3.5 inch, and from the intercooler to the intake manifold is 3 inch. It's got a 5-inch intake pipe going down to an airbox with a filter in it down here. All pretty simple stuff. Just from the back of that, so you can see it's just built into the sheet metal of the car. Now the oil pump on this is just a K20 oil pump. We modified the pickup so we could use it as a rear-wheel drive conversion unit, and that all seems to be working well now that we've done the baffles in this sump. Go back and check out my videos. If you don't put baffles in your sump, you'll see what will happen. Actually, I'll show you, that's what happens. You don't want that to happen. I forgot to mention we got the IC7 dash in there as well. So nothing too special going on in here. A little bottle of nitrous. We've got a 60-litre fuel cell with the 2.525 pumps. We've got a battery in here. These are all the Dash 6 fuel lines to prove that we're making the power we say we're making on our little fuel lines, which is cool. Just one single filter, which apparently they used to run on supercars. I don't know if they still do, which is an E85 specific filter. A Z500 RP, which is an E85 specific fuel filter. It gets the job done for us. We've just got 2 lines running out, 2 fuel pumps feed into this one line, goes through the filter. This is obviously our return. We've got our return going through an E85 sensor just so we can monitor the content of the E85 we are using. We're not doing flex fuel as of yet. So obviously every light works on the car: indicators, brake lights, park lights, horn, wipers. The only thing it doesn't have is a blower motor inside. That would probably be the only electrical thing we have removed from the car. Everything else is all working. It's basically a street car that we take to the track and go and give a hiding. Now, if anyone's got any questions, feel free to smack them in the comments. I'll answer them. We're not trying to hide anything from you guys. I'd rather see other people give it all a bit of a crack and have a go. Now, for you guys that haven't followed the channel so far, please subscribe, go back through and have a look. We've got a tow bar on this car. We drag trailers around, we go to different racetracks, we do different events like that. And we get there, we unload the trailer, then we go and run 8-second passes. It's time to turn it up a little bit more, get back to the track, and see if we can put a few more smiles on some people's faces.